Welcome back to another episode of Four Brown Chicks. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and especially subscribe. Hit that button below so you can stay in the know when we drop new videos. This week, we are doing Watch and Review. Now, if you watched the last one, you may have known that we started, what was it? One More Chance, which was a show with Chance. And if you want to know about that show, you can look at that video, but we are not continuing that conversation. To be honest, it's just a little bit too outlandish. Okay, let's keep it real. So if you guys have been watching it, you can update us, but we won't be talking about that today. We are going to be talking about a franchise favorite, which is the Real Housewives franchise. Currently, right now, Potomac is on. And if you have been watching this series, it is probably the best one to date. It airs every Sunday night on Bravo. You can pretty much find it everywhere. But we just wanted to go over a couple of the main storylines and see what you guys think. So the first one, we'll just kind of start off with, the season kind of kicked off with a lot of drama between Monique Samuels and Candace Dillard. So if you don't know this, Candace is, I believe she, outside of Wendy, she was one of like the newer housewives on the show. And she has been in a lot of drama with just about almost every castmate.
Agreed.
Well, this year things got spicy when Candace threw a party and invited an ex-member to the party. Ooh, and what was her name? Charisse. So word on the street was that Charisse had actually been spreading rumors about Monique possibly creeping out on her husband. Shay's face. Yeah, so this Charisse allegedly was spreading rumors about Monique having an affair with her trainer, I believe. Correct. So to Monique's surprise, when she came to Candace's event and saw basically the enemy there, she was kind of like, well, as my friend, why didn't you tell me that she was invited? And that kind of kicked off the drama. Most recently, they were all at an event and things got spicy. Bianca, do you want to recap that part?
Yeah, so basically they were all at a function like they typically are. Things just escalated very quickly. Monique and Candace were exchanging words, and next thing I know, Monique had Candace her whole wig hair situation in her head, and it just got ugly. They obviously had to break it up, and Monique, she just said, like, I blacked out. Like, enough was enough. So basically, Monique is really like, I feel like Monique gives me real, like, I'm classy, but don't play with me. Like, at the end of the day, if I feel disrespected, I'm disrespected, and that's gonna trigger me. So, I mean, Candace, Monique said she felt like Candace threw a drink. Bystander said drinks weren't involved, but at the end of the day, Candace is now being, for lack of a better word, the victim of the situation. And it's like all the rest of the girls are now trying to isolate Monique or try to make Monique take accountability for the action, which, of course, we all know, like, Monique does feel a certain way. I ain't gonna say she feel bad, because I don't want to put that in her mind, but she does feel a certain way about how that played out, how it was portrayed, and how that made her look. My thing is, the group is trying to act like she just did, like, unforgivable. Huh?
I said they acting like she the first person to ever put hands on somebody in one of these shows.
Exactly, and it's just unforgivable, and they can't believe it. And I'm just like, let's be real. Like Shay said, this is not the first time, and it's not the last time something like this will happen. You pour gasoline on the flame, it's gonna explode. That's all I'm saying. And I just feel like the pressure, like the way they're treating Monique in this situation, it's like they want to purposely keep her, like, they don't want to forgive her. They're not trying to hear her out. They're purposely trying to make it a bigger issue than it is. because I feel like for some reason they want to like kind of isolate her out the group.
They're definitely trying to ostracize her. And I really don't understand the reason behind it. I don't agree with what Monique did. She did post that, she is upset with herself that it went that far and that she never should have put her hands on someone. But I'm going to be honest, I'm one of the sweetest people ever. But after a certain point, I may black out. And especially if you attack my marriage, you continue to egg me on, you continue to make comments. And let's not forget, Candace was the same person that was throwing butter knives at people last week.
You will not discuss my mother in my home.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think on one hand, I could see why, of course, Monique needs to take some responsibility and own up to what she did, which I feel like she has. But then on the other hand, I just feel like people will antagonize you to the point of no end. And then when you react, it's like now there's a problem because you reacted to the behavior that they were having towards you. I feel like it's not really fair to say like, oh, she was triggered or anything like that, because I feel like we have to be responsible for our own triggers and our own healing. But just like Shani said, after a certain amount of points, after I try and talk to you, after I try and discuss with you, I ain't arguing with nobody. And some of us, you could take the girl out the hood, you just can't take the girl out. I mean, the hood out the girl. And I'm one of those people. If you mess with me to a certain extent, you might catch a beat down. I'm sorry. Not sorry, though.
I have to agree. And I think my automatic thought goes back to when Kenya kept poking the bear at Portia. And it kind of was the same thing. Like, let's take her through this whole, like, you need anger management and you need all this. But it's like at the end of the day, yes, Monique needs to take responsibility just how Portia took responsibility. But that person responsible for poking the bear needs to take responsibility too, because at the end of the day, you grown just like I'm grown. So why are you bothering me like we in somebody's kindergarten class? Leave me alone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say really quickly, if anybody knows the glue that Candace used for her wig, please just comment it or send it to us on Twitter. Because when I say that wig did not lift, it did not shift, it did not move. I mean, I just need to know what it is.
They gotta be ready.
Now, one thing I can say about Candace is she always gonna be put together. Candace is a PTB, okay? Hair, outfit, she always gonna be a look. I don't really like Dick with her personality that much, but I will give my girl credit. She puts it together.
So really quickly, obviously you guys know they record these episodes in advance and we see them later. An update is Candace did, as seen in the show, she filed charges against Monique, which I believe was for a second-degree assault. Monique countered that and also filed charges. And I believe the latest news is that they both dropped them.
Yeah.
That's where it's at now. But I mean, that's definitely something to think about, because I feel like sometimes people are so quick to, once they finally reap a little bit of what they sow, they cry wolf, and it's like, oh my gosh, no. But we clearly see how that ended. The other storyline that I just want to talk about really quickly from Potomac is Ashley Darby with her husband Michael. So this storyline has been, it started off a little bit spicy. I feel like some of the other events that have taken place kind of outshine what was going on with Ashley and her husband. But if you guys don't know, Ashley is a beautiful young lady. I believe she did the pageant circuit. She was Miss, was it Maryland or Baltimore? One of those. And her husband is a much older gentleman who owns, I believe, a few restaurants and bars and things of that nature. This season, there have been a lot of reports of Michael and even pictures of him stepping outside of the marriage. And Ashley actually shared that was something that they both participated in, and she was a willing participant once before. So out of curiosity, when it comes to having open, I love Jazz's face, open marriages where you guys participate in threesomes and things of that nature, but then one party decides they no longer want to do that. I'm just curious, like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Is it fair for the partner who, thought like, oh, wait, this is what we do though? for it to be taken away? Or I'm just curious as to your thoughts on that.
I don't even think I can speak on it because
No.
from either side, I'm just like, no. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, and I won't project mine, but I personally feel like I want my marriage to be sacred. Like, I don't want to ever, let any of that kind of stuff enter my marriage.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a time and a place for having threesomes or, inviting somebody into your relationship. And I feel like that place is not in a marriage. Like for me personally, I just think once you decide to be with that one person for the rest of your life, that's what it should be. I think openness is for regular relationships. Is that's what y'all choose to do to get to know other people? Why even get married then if you guys are going to entertain the idea of having other people in your union? It makes no sense to me. And even speaking of Michael, I mean, this season, the issue is the cheating. Last season was, is he on the down low or not? So their whole marriage is weird. Even the intro of her show, she's like, now that I got my baby, like what? You gonna stop getting cheated on? Your man gonna stop trying to get with other men? What?
And also that's weird too, because even though they had all these issues, like currently in real life, she's pregnant by him again. So it's like, you are deep diving into this situation, bam. Like, I'm with y'all. I can't do openness in relationships. It's not really my thing. And I definitely couldn't do it in a marriage. So, I mean, to each his own. But when I look at this situation, it just looks weird to me. Like, it just looks like something that I could not be an active participant in.
Yeah, there's definitely something off. I agree as well. But then again, that's probably just the inner workings of their relationship. I personally feel like Ashley wanted to secure the bag, and now that she has her baby, the bag has been secured. So I feel like her and Michael are probably trying to just figure out, how do we make this work where she continues to feel secure and I don't know what his end of the deal is. I feel like he honestly might just be in the stage of it's cheaper to keep her. But I'm curious to see how that plays out as well. So enough of Potomac. There's actually a new franchise of Real Housewives airing this week. And it's called Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Have you guys had a chance to peek into what's to come on that one?
I've only seen the one storyline of the girl who's married to her step grandfather.
Yeah.
Whatever he is. That's wild to me. Like, I think it goes into just like doing anything for money. Like, I don't care how much I'm getting from the family. We gonna have to figure out a different way. I'm not about to marry. I don't care how long him and my grandma was divorced. I don't care. You are family. And you know how we are, especially with like, you can grow up with somebody in your family. So I'm not about to marry somebody who, to me, that's just disrespectful to my grandmother, number one. But that's also disrespectful just to the legacy of my family. And he disrespectful too. Like, he old, but he disrespectful too, because you're also marrying your ex-wife's grandbaby. Like, that was once her grandbaby. That could have been her first grandbaby. You know how they feel about their first. That's her grandbaby. So it's weird.
What if the grandma left the husband in her will?
So I actually want to take a comment on that. So the person that Jazz is referring to, her name is Mary Cosby, Mary Cosby. And just really quickly, I'm actually going to read what her little blurb is on the Bravo website, because it actually addresses it. It says, with a penchant for God, couture, and only the finest champagne, Mary Cosby is a Pentecostal first lady who inherited her family's empire of churches, restaurants, and more. The caveat in her taking over the family business was that she married her late grandmother's second husband, Robert Cosby Sr. They have since been married for 20 years and have one teenage son together. And it says a little bit more, but so it sounds like that was the caveat in her actually getting the family business, was to marry him.
That's wild.
That's very interesting. Like, I'm trying to see it as from a not judgmental aspect, but it's really hard not to like put
It's
myself
real hard.
in it because the main thing is just like the marital affairs. I don't want to be with somebody that any of my family members have slept with, let alone my grandma.
Yeah, that is. Whew.
I'm
Yeah, that's
really
spicy.
curious. Yeah, I'm curious to get into the season to see if she comments on it and to see if it was something that she actually willingly wanted to do, or if it was actually something where the family kind of, because sometimes in situations like that, it's like sometimes parents or siblings can encourage family to do something to secure, the bag for the entire family. So I'm really curious to see if that was something that was kind of like, oh, I want to do this, or if she kind of felt pressured to do it.
You never know what's going on in Family's Child. They could, who knows? He could have been messing around with the girl before the grandma passed away.
Yeah.
And in Black families, they love to sweep stuff under the rug. You don't know what really happened, and I want to see too what she's gonna say about it.
Yeah. So if you guys want to tune into that one airs November 11th at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on Bravo. Last but not least, we have the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise coming back in December 6th to be exact. And I hear there's been a little bit of buzz with that trailer that recently dropped.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I first seen the trailer, I was a little bit irritated because they didn't talk about anything in the season except for Cynthia's bachelorette party. And we know that's not going to happen to the end of the season. I want to know what else is supposed to happen. And this time, Nene Leakes is not there, right?
Yeah, she's not.
It's a bummer to me when I see like the day ones leave the shows. Like we've been watching it for like 10 years or something now. What else can happen on this season besides these girls chasing their men?
I think it will be a good season though, on the strength of so many new personalities. So Drew Sidora is a new housewife. I really only know Drew Sidora from the game.
And
But
she's in the TLC biopic.
yes. So Drew Sidora, and then Latoya Ali, who is actually a YouTuber. I feel like I've been watching Latoya for like 10 years now. But Latoya, I wouldn't even give her a problematic personality trait, but she does have a very bold personality. Latoya recently relocated from Toronto to Atlanta. She has 3 kids, and her husband are actually going through a separation/divorce. So I feel like they didn't put enough in the trailer, but I still think we're gonna get a good season based off the new faces, new personalities. I think in the beginning, I think like Toya was having issues with Portia. So I think we're in for a good season.
I'm curious to see too. I feel like they are trying to incorporate more like moms. I didn't know. I don't know the Toya character, but it's kind of nice to see that she has children. Unfortunately, separation. But I do feel like a lot of the franchises are trying to incorporate, at least Atlanta, to be specific, more moms. Seems like you are getting some unique family dynamics, which I could, I could see why that would be healthy to see, just different family dynamics with co-parenting and things like that. So I'm actually really excited for the new season coming in December.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool too, like even with adding Latoya, that she's not your typical like, like she really did start just from social media. Like I feel like, Candy was like a singer, or like, Portia, is known for like her grandfather and, all of the day ones and stuff. But I think it's really cool to kind of like highlight like how far social media can take you. I think it's like another Issa Rae situation. Like you went from YouTube to like now you're on a big screen. I think that's cool.
Yeah, and I love that they're incorporating younger women because these franchises have a lot of old rich ladies, and it's just like
60.
Black young women like to living the life of luxury too. We like to go our coin too. So can we get some 25 to 30-year-olds up in here?
Exactly.
I love it.
So I'm excited.
Me too.
Same. So if you're watching any of those franchises of Real Housewives, please let us know. Or even if you're watching any of the other ones, y'all can tell us about them. I'm going to assume none of us are watching them, but maybe if you guys give us something juicy enough, I might consider.
I will say that there is the first Black woman on New York. Her name is Ebony. I can't remember her last name, but I don't watch New York, but I hear she's definitely bringing the spice to the New York franchise. So if y'all want to check that out, let me know.
To piggyback off of that, I have watched New York before, and I'm actually really glad to hear that there is a Black lady joining the cast. I want to say it's Ebony Williams.
Yeah.
She also has a podcast that I think recently launched as well, so check that out.
Yes.
Because when I did watch New York, when you talk about wealthy white women, just kind of like old money mentality, that is the cast of New York 100%. So I'm really, really curious to see how her joining the cast, you know what I mean? And from what I see, she's very progressive and forward thinking and not afraid to speak her mind, especially on like political issues. How she's going to shake that up, because there are people like Ramona and a couple other ones where sometimes the comments they make, you look at them like, what?
Yeah, for real. That's why I really had to stop watching them for real, because they, between them and Orange County, they definitely gave me some. Yeah.
Extreme white privilege for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know if you are watching any of those shows, your thoughts, if you agree or disagree with anything we said, and we will catch you guys next video. Bye.